Daily Diet with Father Pascal.
This 10th Sunday of Ordinary Time in Year B, our focus is on sin. And what is sin? Sin is an offense against God. It is an act of rebellion against God. And what is a rebellion? A rebellion is an organized action towards doing the wrong thing over and over again. It is a conscious and organized action to go against the norm, rules, and let down precepts and commandments. This act of rebellion was first carried out by our first parents, Adam and Eve, in the Garden of Eden, where they go against the law and commandment of God, carrying out the sin of disobedience. This action took place because of the division that existed in man. Every human being is a kingdom divided. That is, in every man there are decisions to make, there are choices to carry out, there are options to pick from. All are embedded on the free gift of freedom that God has given to him. And even St. Paul had to admit it, that this division existed in himself when he said in Romans chapter 7 verse 19, he said that I do not do the good I want, but the evil I do not want is what I do. Now Adam and Eve have taken the bait. Now the blame game begins. Adam blames Eve and Eve blames the snake. Hence the long story began. They are all divided, not only among themselves, but also from each other and from God. So whenever we commit a sin, these three actions or three forms of alienation occurs in one. We injure self, we injure others, and we injure God. But rather than sticking to the blame game ideology or giving excuses or justifying ourselves or reducing the value of sin and its efficacy in order to escape from its guilt as we normally do, it is better for one to admit his sin and seek for pardon. Thus, brandishing sin or renaming it or masquerading it to look like something else does not reduce the reality of sin, does not reduce the effect of the sin, and the guilt that accompanies it still remains. Now, whether the sin against the Holy Spirit cannot be forgiven, there is no limit to the mercy of God, but anyone who deliberately refuses to accept the mercy by repenting but rejects the forgiveness of his sin and the salvation offered by the Holy Spirit, such hardness of heart can lead to final impenitence and also eternal loss. So the sin cannot be forgiven, not because God doesn't want to forgive it, but because they no longer want to be forgiven.
Nourished by His words daily.